Being an interceptor
Police with taser!
is an extraordinary job.
Speed 100 miles an hour.
But tracking down
All right.
and arresting criminals
Hey, locked up for assault.
is dangerous work. Following elite teams from Cheshire, Cleveland,
Lethal list.
Durham
Ow, me, help!
and West Yorkshire,
Stop fighting! I'll taser!
this is Ultimate Interceptors.
There'll be no crime today, thanks to the Interceptors.
Interceptors are fighting a war
Police, stand still!
against an army of thieves,
Police with dog! Stand still or send the dog!
You're under arrest, theft and motorway.
drug dealers
There's a large bag of what we believe to be amphetamine.
and career criminals
All right, I'm arrested on suspicion of possession of Class A with intent to supply.
who think they can make money however they like
£57,000 worth of cannabis.
and get away scot-free,
I'm behind you!
causing misery to make their ill-gotten gains.
Oh, this was my kitchen.
Early evening Shildon, and Paul Jacko Jackson is on the hunt for a stolen car linked to a spate of burglaries in the area.
Somebody somewhere tonight's doing something they shouldn't be. If we're out, we've got a good chance of catching them.
It's not long before he spots trouble. But trouble sees him first.
So we're fail to stop. LA from Tango 310 agent, got a vehicle failed to stop. Black Vauxhall Vectra. I've sighted it on Jubilee Estate. Believe using the commission of crime and theft from vehicles in the Sierra Charlie area, and it's failed to stop as soon as it's seen us.
Burglars often use stolen cars to commit crime, and the fail to stop speaks volumes. But luckily, Jacko's not alone.
He's somewhere just ahead of us down here.
Interceptors Ian Bully Bulmer and Carl Wood are close behind.
He's gone the route we're travelling and he's took a right at the end of here.
Portrait roundabout, taking the second, Church Street. Going to go on to 200 Bully.
The high street's quiet, the Vectra's all over the place. Jacko needs an official green light to continue the pursuit, or it's game over.
Roger, pursuit authorised.
It's on.
Move please, move please, move please.
Bully's using local knowledge and gut instinct to cut him off.
He's gone that way. I'm going to head this way down towards the bypass.
But can he anticipate the reckless driver's route?
Junction with the A688, and it's a left. We're on the A688, westbound.
Clear just stack crossroads now, Nick.
Bully's made his choice. Now all he can do is hope it's the right one.
Bully, prep your stinger. Approaching roundabout. Stand by.
Approaching roundabout. Stand by.
Come on. Where are you?
Taking the first.
It's just down there. Stinger sight.
Approaching the roundabout. Junction A6072. Stand by.
The interceptors are praying.
There he is, not going to go in time.
The suspect takes the third exit.
Not one. Not two. Potentially towards you, Bully. Taking the third towards Tyndall.
Stinger deployed, successful Stinger.
It's a bullseye for Bully, but the special prize will be the driver in cuffs. But he's not giving up.
Vehicle is continuing, speed 50, approaching traffic light which is on red. Straight through, high risk, back to low, Greenfields Road, speed 30 miles per hour. Bully, that stinger was awesome, by the way.
Mint.
Bully's nailed it, but it's not over yet.
We've had a successful stinger deployment and we're just playing catch up now.
Jacko, do we have any visible damage to tyres?
There's a lot of spray coming up off the road, slowing to 40 miles per hour. Hazards are coming on standby, might be trying to give up.
Go! Hands behind your back now!
It's a safe conclusion to a reckless and life-threatening getaway attempt. Jacko knows that stolen cars and burglary go together like blue lights and sirens. And this suspect's had his fair share of all of these.
So he's a disqualified driver and he's wanted recalled to prison. It's a job that keeps giving. Thank you very much.
It turned out the lad was locked up before for attempted robbery, and thanks to Jacko, Bully and a razor-sharp set of spikes, he's safely back behind bars. On top of which he's now landed himself with a 20-month sentence, 2-year driving ban and a £140 fine for motor theft, dangerous driving and driving whilst disqualified. Still to come on Ultimate Interceptors.
Right! Show us your hand! Show us your hand!
On the hunt for burglars who break in and burn rubber.
Ease off, I'm wrong way out roundabout, stand by.
Tracking a cross-country crook on the road and from the sky.
We have the eyes on the vehicle now.
You'll struggle to lose helicopter.
And a wrong and on the run collides with a car as he makes his getaway.
The big out is smoking and I think he's losing power. Crash.
A car is stolen in Britain every 6 minutes.
We've got another one.
Thanks to modern-day immobilisers, the days of coat hangers and hot wiring are over.
You've got keys to a Jaguar on him.
Yeah, well, they could come for burglars.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But now, if crooks want what's on your drive, they have to break into your house.
These kids, they'll break in, they'll have a look for your keys and stuff like that. Now, they seem to be up in the ante. They've no qualms in going into folks' houses and threatening violence and scaring living daylights out of occupants to the point where, these people are just throwing keys at them.
It's 11 p.m. in Middlesbrough, but not everyone is tucked up in bed.
Second exit, continuing straight on Martin Road.
Officers in the Grove Hill area are in pursuit of a stolen black BMW and a white Audi being driven in convoy.
Both going left off-road, in towards Castle Way, when units can go into the Grove Hill.
The getaway drivers are suspected of being part of a professional gang responsible for a string of burglaries in the Middlesbrough area. But they don't seem that keen to face justice.
They're going to come towards Saltskill Avenue, both still in convoy.
Interceptor Mo Rashad is in the dog unit and catching up with the pursuit in case the suspects decide to ditch and run.
485, the dog's required anywhere of this.
Yes, yeah.
These intruders have got into somebody's house and taken these keys. It's massively important we get these chaps.
Coming towards Keith Road now.
Back with the pursuit, the stolen cars are booting it through residential streets, doing their best to shake off the cops.
Both still together, speed is 40.
40 soon turns to 70. This pursuit is becoming dangerous. A crash at this speed could be fatal.
What's the van doing? Get out of the way, please. No change in the conditions. Traffic is still light. Pedestrians is still light.
Although the streets are quiet, the suspect's driving is becoming increasingly desperate.
Straight over.
It seems they'll do anything to escape.
Cutting through and they're going on the Keith Road, reset back towards, right onto Deepdale.
The Interceptors are trying to keep the chase confined to the Grove Hill area and away from the town centre.
We've got a right. We need units to the bottom of Saltskill Avenue. We need units to top on Ladgate Lane, please.
But 5 minutes into the chase, the fleeing felons up the ante by parting ways.
Where's he going? He's gone left at Martin Road. The white Audi has gone left Martin Road. We are behind. find the BMW, mate.
With other units following the white Audi, the lead car remains with the black Beamer. The pursuit is only a mile away from the town centre.
We are heading towards town here.
If it heads in that direction, the police will be forced to call it off.
Right, okay, correspondent, come back round.
But the suspect takes a left away from town and, after thrashing the Beamer to within an inch of its life, the car's given up the ghost.
The engine's smoking, so I think he'll lose this car.
The suspect hoped it would be the Interceptors, not his engine, that gave up. Mo is closing in, but before he can join the pursuit, the fleeing car flies through a junction.
The BM is smoking, I think he's losing power. Crash. Towards Longlands Road.
The getaway driver crashes into the back of a passing motorist, and the Interceptors make a tactical hit. But the suspect's not hanging about to swap details. The officer is hot on his heels, and the suspect is soon in cuffs.
Where are we trying to get with that? Just... I don't even know my way about, really, now. I've done nothing wrong for that long. Yeah.
The driver of the blue Honda was shaken and suffered minor injuries. With one burglary bandit behind bars, the Interceptors now turn their attention to his suspected accomplice, the driver of the white Audi. And Mo has some intel.
So we've got information to say the gentleman from the 2-in-1 burglary is in this address here, so we're going to act on that information as soon as we can. Everyone's here, we'll act and get it out.
With the team in position, they're going in.
Here we go. Right, number 2, yeah.
Please, come in.
There's a man behind the sofa.
We got him.
But is he playing hide and seek or hiding from the law?
What's your name?
The Interceptors have the suspect.
Let's have a smoke and
And a house full of coppers has the man reaching for his smokes.
Why? Yeah, I'm behind you. Why can't he have a smoke, like? Well, I know I'm under arrest, but why can't he have a smoke? Because I said you can't. I'm getting locked.
While smoking is a bad habit, it's the man's suspected habit of stealing the public's cars that means he's off to the nick for questioning.
So we've caught the guy behind these 2-in-1s. Further evidence has been found in the address, linking him to the offences. So absolutely over the moon.
The driver of the BMW was convicted of no insurance, no licence, theft of vehicles, dangerous driving and burglary. He was banned from driving for 47 months and received a total of 3 years and 10 months in prison. The man arrested in the house was also sentenced to 6 years and 9 months for multiple offences, including burglary and dangerous driving. Burglars and car thieves travel the country in pursuit of their ill-gotten gains, hoping that crossing police borders will leave local cops in disarray.
The vehicle self-stopped for North Yorkshire Police officers.
In West Yorkshire, Officer Steve Oliver is heading to a sighting of a car suspected of being involved in a burglary.
There is a white Audi A3 convertible with the roof down that's been seen on the Leeds-Otley Road, involved in a burglary this morning at Boston Spa. So we're going to keep going and see if we can cut that one off. So the car's just been seen on the A660, just on the Otley bypass, which is just over there.
Towards Bradford Road.
And we are coach 6 of that roundabout now.
Steve approaches the roundabout where the Audi is meant to be heading.
It's there.
He's got eyes on the prize.
X-Ray Romeo 30, we're behind, and it's A660 heading away from Otley towards Skipton.
The Audi has 2 occupants, both suspected of aggravated burglary. But Steve is without backup and doesn't want to risk hitting the blues.
The vehicle is 2 up. I believe if I light this vehicle up, it may make off. Therefore, requesting TPAC authority, please.
Steve needs other units to make a stop on the sporty Audi. But there's a problem.
Unfortunately, we don't have any more traffic, so we may be limited here.
Burglars often travel to commit crime. With no West Yorkshire vehicles available, Steve requests help from the neighbours.
In that case, we can make North Yorkshire aware as well, please.
And his call for help has been answered.
North Yorkshire have got one unit on the way.
Cross-county cops working together. While Steve waits for backup, it seems the passenger is off to throw up.
We just held at traffic lights, junction B6382 to the near side. The front seat passenger has got out. He's a white male, dressed in a blue T-shirt, blue shorts, bald head. Looks like he's just seeing the contents of his stomach as he leans over a wall at the minute.
He appears to have developed a sudden case of car sickness and tells his mate to drive on.
The vehicle is driving off, leaving him at the roadside. I'll keep following the car.
Steve stays with the car, but his description of the passenger means other units will be on the lookout.
My thinking would be his faked sickness, has got out of the vehicle knowing full well we're behind, sort of faking, pointing ahead of him to say he'll meet up with him. As soon as I see the other unit, we'll probably light him up and get him stopped.
The North Yorkshire car is still a few miles away, and every second that passes increases the chances of the Audi making off. But help is at hand from above.
I have got eyes on the vehicle now.
Helicopters above, which means even if we light it up and he makes off, you'll struggle to lose helicopter.
The North Yorkshire unit has also arrived.
Yeah, is that you in the unmarked?
Affirmative, yeah, and to be fair, there's no backup anyway in this area other than myself.
Yeah, be just the two of us then. I think we could make a song out of that one.
Absolutely.
But will the suspect soon be singing Jailhouse Rock? With backup from behind and above, it's time to make their move.
Go for it now.
Steve pulls in front with the North Yorkshire unit covering the rear. You're nicked.
Stop, stop, stop. Yeah, right, sir. Jump out for me. Cheers.
The suspect is led to Steve's car for a quick Q&A.
There you go, jump in there for me, please, sir. The reason you've been stopped, your vehicle, I believe, has been seen at the scene of a burglary this morning, or earlier on today at Boston Spa.
I don't know, I've just been past it myself.
The North Yorkshire officer has run a check on the Audi, and it's dodgy.
It does a bin check and it comes back to an S&P from Blackburn from December.
The Audi is listed as stolen from the Blackburn area. And the suspect's day goes from bad to worse as Steve receives a photo from HQ, placing him outside the scene of the earlier burglary.
I'm looking at a picture of two males in this Audi, one of which is the driver I have with me at this moment.
The game is up.
So you are under arrest at this moment in time on suspicion of aggravated burglary.
It seems these suspected burglars were caught in the act by a woman returning home.
Lady's turned up at home, seen this vehicle parked across the driveway. She's then opened the outside porch bit, and inside is a bloke with a crowbar trying to jemmy the inside door, who's then barged past her, jumped in the car and buggered off. Top stuff, thanking you very much.
The passenger's also been picked up by the helicopter and he's been nicked.
Very good job, very good teamwork. North Yorkshire came in, helicopter got above us, it was very good indeed.
The driver was convicted of burglary and obstructing police after he gave false details. He was sentenced to 3 years in prison. The charges relating to the stolen car were dropped. The passenger was released without charge. Catching burglars is what most boys and girls dream about if they want to grow up to be a cop.
Get your hands! Hands!
And the Interceptors are living the dream.
You're under arrest on suspicion of a burglary.
In West Yorkshire, a member of the public has called 999 to say someone has broken into her neighbour's house and stolen the car from the driveway. Every Interceptor unit in the area is on the lookout, and an unmarked dog van is the first to find it.
How many's in it, please? Can't tell, I'm afraid.
A marked traffic car is soon behind the dog van and takes the lead. The driver's pursuit trained and his car easily outguns the people carrier.
Right on Extendale Road. Speed is 25 miles an hour, heading towards motorway. Traffic light, Laura Street style, speed is 40.
But after being tailed for a couple of minutes, the driver realises something's up as the traffic car follows his every move, so he puts pedal to the metal. Then, as he approaches a roundabout, the fleeing driver pulls off a dangerous move.
He's off. He's got wrong way out roundabout. Stand by.
Extra Delta 68, continued to go round. He didn't take the motorway.
The runaway driver has just raised the risk level several notches. The pursuing police cars hang back.
Has anybody got eyeball on it? 65, he's on Denverdale Road, wrong side of carriageway. Stand by.
The stolen motor has nearly hit a car coming the right way down the carriageway. Thankfully, its driver managed to avoid a serious smash. At the next roundabout, the driver continues his reckless rampage on the wrong side of the road.
Have we got anything coming towards him, please? I'm mindful of the time, but if so, I will abort.
But as they're about to pull the plug, the stolen motor slows right down.
It's out and running, it's going to be, I think it's Denverdale Road East.
The driver's bailed out and legged it with the car still moving. Dog handler Duncan Matthews is just behind and jumps out with tracker dog Tia. While the stolen car rolls on and is brought to a final stop by a police van.
There's still bobbies in this garden?
Yeah, there is, yeah.
Tia's picked up a trail which has led her to a house a couple of streets away. And after a quick nose around, Tia's onto something.
Right! Show us your hands! Show us your hands now! Now, lay on the floor! Lay on the floor, down here! Your hands out!
Good, yeah.
The suspect was later convicted of burglary, theft of a motor vehicle and dangerous driving. He was sentenced to 30 months in a young offenders institution and banned from driving for 27 months. The car and the property stolen in the burglary was returned to its owners. Still to come on Ultimate Interceptors.
Police!
Cops go on the offensive in the war on drugs by closing down a cannabis farm.
We're talking like £51,000 worth of cannabis.
Hunting down a dealer carrying £100,000 worth of heroin.
I'm getting that vehicle now.
And a drug-driving crook tries to get one over on Jacko.
It's just throwing someone out the car.
What we've also noticed down behind the fridge as well, you've got a big wad of cash.
Career criminals will do anything to make their ill-gotten gains. But few black market enterprises are more popular than drug dealing.
This is highly organised crime that we're looking at to maintain a product on a production line to dish out and make a profit from. It's absolutely frightening.
In the market town of Bishop Auckland, Sergeant Kev Salter is leading a raid on a local cannabis grow. And he knows that getting between a dealer and their main source of income can be a risky business.
It's very dangerous when we officers put in the door because we don't know what we're going to be faced with. We have had people that have wired the doors up to the electricity mains in the past. We've people who have machetes and hammers and all sorts behind the door.
Adrenaline's high. It's anyone's guess as to who or what's on the other side of the door.
Police! Police officers! Police!
Clear. It's clear upstairs. Awesome. Cracking job. Happy.
The two front bedrooms are jam-packed from floor to ceiling. This lot's definitely not for personal use.
Got over 51 plants here, so we're talking like £51,000 worth of cannabis removed off the streets. Not to mention probably 15 grand's worth of equipment here.
Kev's disappointed no one's home.
Said I'd like to always get a body in here, but we'll catch up with them eventually.
Cannabis farmers usually rent different houses just to grow their crops. They rarely live in them and only drop in to keep an eye on the plants. And it seems the Interceptors swooped just in time.
We're getting towards harvesting stage by the looks of it, but might need a bit more water in order to turn yellow.
This could prove a long job.
It seems the crime are examining any evidence and the evidence that they'll collect will help us a little bit further.
And there's loads of evidence.
It'll take us hours.
A grow like this requires vast amounts of electricity. But the bright Spark who set up this farm was no electrical engineer.
Anything you touch could potentially electrocute you. Clearly dangerous to everyone, hence why we're not touching anything at the moment until the electricity board have been.
And there's little chance of the Jolly Green gangster paying for the electricity.
Circumstances like this, where they've got loads of fans and heaters and lights going, they tend to bypass the electricity meter. That's bypassed. Definitely bypassed.
True to form, the cannabis grower has hacked the electricity.
Well, the criminals know that the electricity company would alert us, so that's why they bypass the meters. One, not to alert them, and two, so they save themselves a lot of money. So they'll also be arrested for abstract electricity as well as cultivation cannabis, as and when we get our hands on them.
The suspected cannabis farmer was forensically linked to the weed crop in the house which he was renting. He was found guilty of growing the cannabis as well as stealing the electricity. He was sentenced to 2 years imprisonment, suspended for 2 years.
It's a nice feeling for me, it's a nice feeling for the team that we've actually come in here today and got a good result. It also shows members of the public that the intelligence that they give, we do take seriously and we get out there and we do something about it.
The drugs trade is catnip for criminality.
That's what we're looking for.
From heroin addicts stealing property to fund their habit, to car crashes caused by coked-up caners.
What's that?
Its effects spread far and wide, and the profit goes straight into the criminal's pocket. But the Interceptors are on the offensive. Today, Sergeant Paul Faulkner's got wind of a shipment of heroin being dropped off in Middlesbrough.
Proper job. Some really hot intel to say that a car is coming into the area, potentially with a lot of drugs on board. It's probably going to go along the route of a preemptive T-pack.
Paul's now gunning it to the scene. If the driver of the car decides not to stop, the Interceptors will have to force him to pull over.
The information came to us pretty last minute. Intelligence was that it's being used in supply of drugs coming into the Cleveland area, so we want to make sure we get to have a good, clear search of it, see if there's anything in there.
Paul's got back up in a Beamer, lying in wait for the car on a roundabout above the A19.
I'm on Landale roundabout.
The intel is bang on. The target car has surfaced right in front of the eager Interceptor.
One of the BMs got behind it.
I'm on 5. I'm behind that vehicle now.
Paul unleashes all 250 horses stabled under the bonnet and takes off to intercept.
Yeah, he's off toward that one.
But a T-pack might not be necessary. The suspect spots the cop car on his tail and pulls up.
I was very surprised that it stopped, unless it is well hidden within the car. Hence why I want to go and have a look.
The Seat driver couldn't be more helpful. He's straight out of the car with his driving licence in his hand. While he waits in the patrol car, the Interceptors check his hatchback and make a stunning discovery. On a child seat, wrapped in a plastic bag, is a huge amount of heroin.
A massive possession with intent to supply.
For Paul, it's a proper bust.
Excellent.
A bumper haul of Class A's.
Plenty here, is it?
About 2 kilos.
Excellent. Excellent.
It is a large amount, a couple of kilos, with a street value of more than £100,000.
Absolutely steaming result, great one for the department. Cracking result to have that type of drugs off the streets of Middlesbrough and off Teesside, full stop.
When he was brought before the court, the laid-back drug dealer pleaded guilty to possession of Class A drugs with intent to supply. He went down for 6 years.
Stand still!
Locking up bad guys and chasing down crooks is just one front in the police's war on crime.
Stand still! Get behind your back!
And for cops like Paul Jacko Jackson, it's arresting the dealers that gets him out of bed in the morning.
We're all motivated for different reasons, but it's unfairness and the injustice of anything that gets under my skin. If you say a drug dealer that's never done an honest day's work in his life and never contributed to the system. I hate that, and that motivates us to go after that drug dealer or other drug dealers.
It's 9 p.m. on the streets around Spennymoor, and in his ongoing search for dealers and crooks,
Attention.
Jacko's automatic number plate reading camera has identified a suspect car.
Tango 9 from Tango 313. Code 2 vehicle check please, Gurney Valley. Should be a Seat Leon, I think.
Insurance held or T-Terrace.
With the driver struggling to keep it on the right side of the road, Jacko's gut is telling him dodgy driving may be the tip of the iceberg. Despite the Interceptors' blue lights and sirens, the dodgy driver's not pulling over.
I'll go on to 200, I've got to fail to stop. He's just thrown something off the car.
Lit up by his full beams, eagle-eyed Jacko has spotted something being tossed out of the passenger side of the car.
LA from Tango 313, urgent. Got a vehicle failing to stop, Gurney Valley towards Coundon Bypass. Stand by.
All of a sudden, the drivers thought better of trying to outrun an interceptor. His first smart move of the night.
Why have you just thrown out the car?
Come here.
Yeah, come here.
What's the matter?
Come and take a seat. Can you join us on the Coundon Bypass? I've got one detained, he's thrown something from the car.
I haven't.
Hold on, jump in the car.
Hey, don't drag us about.
Wait, don't fight off again.
The man doesn't seem too keen to get into Jacko's car.
You are getting in the car.
Wait, just wait.
No.
You've cuffed us, I don't know.
Yeah, you're getting in the car.
Well, why? No, I'm not going in the car. Get off, Lizzie. Alright, I'll get in the car. Car, man.
I'm getting the
car, man.
Chill out, get in that car.
One, I just want to fag, man. I've got.
You're not getting the car. You're locked up,
man. I'm locked up for what?
Fail to stop.
With a little gentle persuasion, Jacko's got the situation under control. But he needs some help to find the package the driver tossed away back down the road.
I should be able to pinpoint where it's been thrown. It looked a sizable package. What did you throw out of it? I watched someone come out the passenger side of that car.
I swear,
The man's denying he threw anything out of his car, but the camera never lies.
I've locked her up on suspicion of failing to stop, okay? And I'm going to breathalyse you because you stink to drink, and I'm going to drug test you because I can smell dope, all right? And I'm going to drive down there and see what it is that you threw from that car. So at this moment in time, you are locked up for fail to stop, all right?
I'm going now.
I need to do a drugs test on you. Are you willing to let us do a drugs test on you?
That's a ball to get locked up, don't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The drug test is a simple mouth swab that takes a few minutes to perform and reveals the presence of cannabis or cocaine. But in this case, it's also loosened the driver's tongue.
Right, I'm just going to pick a tenner bag up there.
So that was what you threw out, drugs?
On this corner, I'll walk you down and show you it.
Well, I'll go and get it. That look bigger than a tenner bag will come out.
Tenner bag?
Showing a substantive license.
A tenner bag is a drugs deal with a street value of £10.
Didn't look bigger than a tenner bag, it was a tenner bag, man.
And now he's spilt the beans about the drugs, he's also fessed up to Jacko that he's been drinking a can of lager while he was actually driving.
He says he's just been drinking from a can of lager in the car as well, so we'll give it another 10 minutes and then carry out a breath test. During that pursuit, I've seen a package thrown from the vehicle. Now he's admitted that he's thrown a tenner bag out, but what I saw come out seemed a lot bigger than a tenner bag. Colleagues are going to sit with him while I go down and see if I can find what this package is that he's thrown from the car. It's not a bad little stop at the beginning of the night.
Jacko heads down the road. If the sniffer dog can find what the interceptor thinks he saw being thrown out the window, it could be a charge for dealing.
Said he's brought them down where he's hid it out.
The dog's found something, and it's nothing to sniff at.
Good lad, good lad. It's a bit more than a tenner deal, isn't it?
It's more like a 210 deal.
His deal is obviously very generous, if that's what he gets for a tenner. What's happened with the breath test?
Fair back as well, man.
While Jacko's been cracking the case, the driver has come up with a cracking excuse about why he failed to stop.
I failed to stop when you're saying that, right? I thought it was an ambulance. I thought it was an ambulance when I've never seen.
You know why I think it's an ambulance? Because you're off your head on drink and drugs. No, that's why I thought it was an ambulance. So just to let you know what the crack is, you're locked up for failing to stop.
No.
Failing the roadside drugs test, failing the roadside breath test, possession with intent to supply. All right?
No.
Come and take a seat in mine. He's got coke, dope, and drink in his system. and he's driving around. He's just an absolute idiot. So delighted to get him off the road.
The man was convicted of intending to deal cannabis and also drug driving and failing to stop. He was given a 13-month jail sentence, suspended for a year and a half, banned from the road for a year, and ordered to pay £500. At the station, he was found to be below the drink-drive limit, and the charges were dropped. Like any business, transportation is an essential part of the criminal drug trade. Today, Interceptors Kev and Mark are part of an operation to disrupt the supply chain.
It's a static road checkpoint. This way we flush out any criminals and people going about the business in that area that are up to no good.
The Interceptors are in their unmarked X5. Their job is to go after any drivers that decide they don't want to stop.
We're going to watch the other lads and lasses pull in the cars. Should a vehicle fail to stop, then we're going to be in a perfect position to get after it.
20 minutes in, a car drives past which their ANPR system says is linked to drugs. And Kev and Mark are straight on its tail.
We're obviously going after this vehicle to see if we can get it stopped.
They're soon behind the car, a dark grey Audi, and Mark sticks on the blues and twos.
Gonna stop him, something. Should be alright.
Thankfully, the driver decides to stop rather than make a run for it.
Okay.
Yeah, just jump out of your car, just search him in. The reason we stopped you is there's a mark on your car. Why? You might be possibly involved in dealing drugs, alright? We're going to search you on your vehicle, okay? Have you got any drugs on you? Or no. You've got a few bags in the car. Okay.
A few bags of.
And the rest, okay? Suspicion of possession of cocaine, mate, alright?
The driver admits to having cocaine in his car, so he's nicked, and Kev wants more information.
How much is there?
9 bags.
9 bags. And why would you have 9 bags of cocaine on you?
Spikes arrived to help with the search.
He's telling us that there's a few bags of cocaine in his car. It's hit the ANPR camera.
Oh, right.
I'm just coming in the car now to see if I can find these drugs that this gentleman's talking about. He's telling us there's 9 bags of cocaine in the car somewhere.
There's also something else in the car.
Man, the ferocious dog, Sergeant.
Oh well. So there's 9 deal bags there of crack cocaine.
Crack is a highly addictive form of cocaine which is usually smoked by the user.
Seized off the streets just from a simple stop check, which we probably would never have got otherwise. So yeah, it's a good job.
Before the dog gets his teeth into it, Spike has a sniff around the car and finds some empty shotgun cartridges.
Smell of cordite on an afternoon. 2 days ago these were fired.
The driver's taken off to Peterlee Police Station. Mark will be driving the Audi and its passenger.
Kev would like me to drive this car because he's scared of the massive dog that's in it. This massive human savaging dog that's in here. Can you run, Chair?
It's called Brownie.
Back at the Nick, Ian Squire and his drugs dog Lily search the Audi, while Mark looks after its occupant.
My new friend, the dog support unit.
No further drugs were found in the car, and a subsequent search of the man's house found a small amount of cocaine. The driver was found guilty of possession with intent to supply Class A drugs. He was sentenced to 28 months in prison and ordered to pay £120 in fines. Still to come on Ultimate Interceptors. A robbery at knife point leads to a high-stake pursuit.
It's past the stingers, approaching roundabout, stand by.
Dealing drugs can make criminals rich.
Expect this to be heroin, obviously Class A controlled drug.
But when thugs want to make quick money, they often go back to basics, using weapons to intimidate people.
It's obviously for chopping up his chicken.
Into handing over their valuables. In Cleveland, the Interceptors are on the hunt for a man wanted for a knife-point robbery. A car up ahead fits the bill. As they see a flash of blue, it seems the driver sees red and decides not to hang around for a chat.
We just pulled in front of it. The driver just put it in reverse and reversed away. No idea why I was being stopped.
The 23-year-old driver heads off backwards, hardly the most conventional way to begin a pursuit. Most drivers would step out of the car when they see cops' blue lights, but it looks like this lad's doing completely the opposite.
Right, towards the 181. Stand by.
The pursuit is on.
No risk.
Worryingly, the runaway's driving is becoming increasingly erratic. The VW narrowly misses an oncoming car as it swerves dangerously across the road. A little further to the right, and a collision would have been unavoidable. The Golf soon notching up speeds of almost 70 miles an hour. Intel on the car reveals why it's so intent on losing the Interceptors. It's now heading towards a residential neighbourhood.
Front street, Wingate, wrong side of the road, and his lights out. Still low risk, speed is 50.
In any pursuit, unpredictable young drivers pose a huge threat to innocent motorists and pedestrians. The cops summon all units in the area for assistance, including Interceptors Kev Salter and Pete Tate. The boys are a few miles away from where the cops are chasing the youngsters in the Golf, but they're still eager to assist.
Right, towards the 181. Stand by, no risk.
A few miles away, more Interceptor cars have joined the pursuit as the unmarked 330 continues to tail the fleeing VW. The cops know that one way or another they've got to bring this pursuit to an end before someone gets hurt. Their first tactic is to get another unit further ahead to slow down. They reckon that blocking the Golf's path will force it to stop.
Yeah, under your pursuit commander.
But it seems not even the cop car up ahead can put the brakes on these suspected thieves. In a brazen move, the VW simply mounts the pavement and shoots past the Interceptor's car.
Yes, current speed 100.
The danger's now mounting as the Golf begins booting it at 100 miles an hour. As Kev and Pete race to reach the pursuit, the Interceptors are now trying their next tactic, a stinger.
Approaches stingers.
As the Golf hurtles past, it falls straight into the trap.
So it's past the stingers, approaching roundabout, stand by.
But despite being stung, unbelievably the young driver still isn't throwing in the towel. The Interceptors have had enough. It seems the only thing these youths will understand is a bit of brute force. But prolific thieves often arm themselves, so the cops must show caution when they stop it. In a final bid to halt the car, the Interceptors up ahead pull in front of the Golf, while another Interceptor slides up the side to box it in. It's a tactical hit. Car thief 0, cops 1. Within seconds, the cops get the young occupants out and cuffed. Kev and Pete are also on the scene and begin checking the VW for evidence.
First thing we found is an axe, which is not something you want to be faced with. Hence the officers' approach to boxing it in and putting windows out to distract them when they get them detained on the floor.
And it's just as well this young driver was stopped. He was later sentenced in court to a total of 3 years behind bars for robbery and threatening the public with a knife. For taking the car without consent, he was banned from driving for a year.